Uh, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi everyone. This is chapter 15. We are close to the end. As you see, at the end of each chapter there is a very interesting moment. The action is rising every now and then, more and more. Last thing that happened in chapter 15, David was beaten again and he was thrown out of the camp. Okay, for the second chapter, sequentially, he is beaten at the end of the chapter. This time, someone woke him up. Someone was dragging him away from the area he was thrown away at. And of course, he could not see who is taking him out. Someone pulls David away to safety. He was still a little bit unconscious. Then, from the sound, from the voice, he realizes that the person is Sufi. If you remember, Sufi was sent to the French years before, so Sufi returns again to the plot. And here Sophie is different. Sophie now is more practical. She lived in the fringes for a lot of years. She is very independent. Okay. She is the one who will help David now. He helped her in the past when her shoe was stuck in the rock. Now she is the one who will help him. So when David returns to himself again, he contacted Michael. Michael assures David that Rosalind and Petra are safe. They are in the tent of the Spider-Man. Sophie tells David that she's in love with a Spider-Man whose name is Jordan. She didn't like the name of Spider-Man. She said no, he has a name. She knew he wanted Rosalind, and that's why she is jealous. But David assures her that Rosalind will not agree to have children with the Spider-Man. David explains that he knows this because of his ability to communicate with Rosalind via thoughts. You can expect that Sophie would tell him, "How do you know that she doesn't want him?" And David tells her, "We have this ability of telepathy." And then Sophie would remember something her mother told her about David. Sophie's mother told Sophie that David has a strange ability to understand her before she talks, to understand her thoughts. Sophie takes David to her small home, which is like a very small cave up a hill. So up a ladder and in a cave. The entrance is covered by a leather curtain. So it is a very primitive cave. Very primitive home. The cave contains a mattress of branches even, a bucket to catch the dripping water coming from the top of the hill, a fire pit, this is her kitchen, some tools and arrows, her weapons. Then Sophie leaves David and she will go to fetch some food. During this time, David will contact Michael again. Michael reports that neither he nor Rachel have heard from Mark in over a day. You know, we lost Anne, we lost Catherine and Sally, we still have Michael, Rachel, and there was Mark. And also Mark is like a mystery. Suddenly he disappeared, he didn't communicate, so maybe something happened to him, maybe he died, no one knows. So anyway, we will have now Michael, Rachel, and the three, David, Petra, Rosalind. So they became 5 now. Petra awakens and bombards them with her distressed thoughts because she is worried David is dead. last thing she saw, the men uh, beat, hit David and took him away. Rosalind and Petra are being held captive in the Spider-Man tent, but luckily he is currently not there. He's preparing to fight Waknak people. And they are being guarded by an albino. Albino is a person who has no color. I mean, you know it. He has a problem in his, what is the scientific word? I don't remember. The color of his body. Okay, so Rosalind expresses her fear of the Spider-Man. Of course, Rosalind is afraid of the Spider-Man. He is the leader and he's like a monster to her, so she's afraid of him. You know now that the Sealand woman can contact all members of the telepathy group because she is closer. So Michael asks her if she's still coming, and she affirms that she is. Why is Michael asking her? Because now there is a great problem for the five guys. They are between the French and the Waknak people, and both of them both of the groups want to get rid of them. So where to escape? It seems to them that Sealand woman is the only way to escape. Sophie tells David she can help get Rosalind and Petra out of the Spider-Man tent before he returns. This is good for Sophie and good for Rosalind as well, and good for everyone. Okay, so no conflict of interest here. David cannot go. Of course, he wanted to volunteer to go with her, because if there is a fight or so, he will help. She told him no. For her, Sophie, to go to the tent, it's okay, it's normal, no one will suspect anything. But anyone who would see David, they will kill him. Sophie brings a knife. Okay, David was in the cave monitoring what Rosalind and Petra would tell him about what's going on. So he witnesses some surprise and shock thoughts from Petra and Rosalind. Of course, at that moment when Sophie appeared at the tent and killed the man. And then the three girls returned to the cave. Sophie was bold and tough. She cleans off her blood-covered arms, and there was like a conversation between her and Rosalind, in which, of course, Sophie appeared to be so jealous. Anyway, they understood her psychology, and Petra tried to calm her down. And that is the end of chapter 15.